Harry Potter was many things, but he wasn't your typical hero. He was the savior of the wizarding world, he could speak to snakes, and he had an overdeveloped sense of justice. But at the end of the day, he was just a regular 11-year-old thrust into a very irregular situation. He didn't like the limelight, and he was not even liked by everyone at Hogwarts. He's a half-blood after all. He had his flaws, and, for a while, was prejudiced against Slytherins. But while Harry may not be your traditional hero, he made it work by following his strengths, making friends who supported him no matter what, and showing more courage than we could ever imagine. I believe Harry was a badass character, and once you watch this video in full, I'm sure you'll agree. So, join us as we take a look at how awesome Harry was. Harry, the hero who was made. Harry Potter was forced to become a hero because the Dark Lord believed in a prophecy. The one with the power to vanquish the Dark Lord approaches. Born to those who have thrice defied him, born as the 7th month dies, and the Dark Lord will mark him as his equal, but he will have the power the Dark Lord knows not, and either must die at the hand of the other, for neither can live while the other survives. The one with the power to vanquish the Dark Lord will be born as the 7th month dies. Sybil Trelawney's first prophecy to Albus Dumbledore in 1980, Chapter 37, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Prophecies are always self-fulfilling. If Voldemort never knew the prediction, he would not have acted upon it. All of this happened when Snape overheard part of the prophecy and brought it to Voldemort, who took it seriously. Moreover, according to the prophecy, there were 2 possible children. Voldemort had to choose between Neville Longbottom and Harry Potter. He chose Harry, who was more similar to himself, and thus sealing his fate. So, we can say that Harry was not destined to become a hero. Instead, he was made into one by circumstance. Even though he was forced into a role that he did not want, Harry had numerous badass moments through the series. It would be impossible to list them all in one video. So, here are the top 5 moments that stood out the most to me. Being a natural flyer. Contrary to what most people think, Harry's first year at Hogwarts was not when he first rode a broomstick. He was a natural-born flyer with exceptional skills, even when he was just a year old. Thank you for Harry's birthday present. It was his favorite by far. 1 year old and already zooming along on a toy broomstick. He looks so pleased with himself. I'm enclosing a picture so you can see. You know it only rises about 2 feet off the ground, but he nearly killed the cat, and he smashed a horrible vase Petunia sent me for Christmas. No complaints there. Of course, James thought it was funny. Says he's going to be a great Quidditch player. But we've had to pack away all the ornaments and make sure we don't take our eyes off him when he gets going. Lily's letter to Sirius, Chapter 10, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. This innate broomstick skill helped him become the youngest Quidditch player in generations, even outflying a dragon during the Triwizard Tournament, killing a basilisk. The Serpent of Slytherin was one of the deadliest magical creatures in the world. While Harry had help from the Sorting Hat and Fawkes, he did manage to slay the creature with the Sword of Gryffindor when he was just 12 years old. And if you want to prove that you are a badass, you don't have to kill a basilisk. Just subscribe to our channel. Fighting off hundreds of Dementors. Harry was a genius at the Patronus charm, something that even many full-grown wizards had trouble with. He was the fastest among his classmates to master the spell and could conjure a corporeal one by the time he was only 13. However, his most notable accomplishment with this charm was at the end of the Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, when he managed to cast a super powerful Patronus in the form of a stag that fended off hundreds of Dementors, saving his godfather Sirius, teaching Dumbledore's army. This is where we get a glimpse of Harry's leadership skills. Harry had an uncanny ability to motivate people and to get the best out of them. Thanks to his patient and careful teaching, all the DA members, including Neville and the Creevey brothers, got pretty good at defending themselves. In fact, Harry teaching the DA class was the basis for the resistance group during the last book when the Death Eaters took over Hogwarts, sacrificing himself to Voldemort. While the previous 4 points stood out in their own right, nothing Harry did was more badass than giving up himself at the Battle of Hogwarts. He knew that he had to die at Voldemort's hand, and yet he did not give in to his fear of death. This ultimate act of bravery is one of the most emotional scenes in all 7 books. He sacrificed himself in the Forbidden Forest to Voldemort in a similar manner to the one his mother made for him as a baby. Despite that, he survived Voldemort's killing curse for the 2nd time, defeated the Dark Lord, and won the war. My final thoughts on Harry Potter being a badass. Harry, the boy who lived, was not invincible. He had flaws, yet throughout the series, his strength and kindness helped make him a relatable character. Harry wasn't the strongest or the smartest, but he was good at his core. He pulled through when it mattered most. We see him grow from a confused orphan child into the brave man who acts on his convictions, despite the cost he might face. So, what do you think about our theory? Do we leave out your favorite badass Harry Potter moment? Comment and let us know. Want to know why Voldemort was so obsessed with the prophecy and started the chain of events that forced Harry to become such a badass? Click the video on screen now.